Hey everybody, we're live. What an amazing comeback win. I'm still trying to catch my breath. um, Saints prevail and in fine fashion by a point. This is a game that we're going to be talking about for a long time. I mean, a long time. And they've got the post game show on now, trying to find out.
Reading your tweets throughout the game, but I mean, we have to go back now. We're starting to see a pattern here with the zone read offense, and I mean, you go back to the last 2 years against the Philadelphia Eagles, who basically run the same
Alan
type
Ross
of
says
offense that we saw
incredible
today.
game.
The Saints have had all kind of problems stopping. I mean, Cordell Patterson, looked like Jalen Hurts.
I think he's absolutely right. He says, Alan said, incredible game here. The refs try to cheat the Saints, but God is great. You can say that again, Alan, because look, you can take 3 points off the board that were literally given to the Falcons, considering Younghoe Koo's normal accuracy. When Kyle Pitts clearly fumbled after that catch, football move for a couple of steps, boom, batted out. Saints recover. Doggone thing sitting right there on the turf. Okay. There were a number of obvious holding calls. Even Ty trying to close in for the catch, the tackle, excuse me. You could see in the replay his jersey clearly distorted because he's being held. Personal fouls that should have been called. Personal fouls that should not have been called. That whole thing with Marcus Davenport looked like it was an accidental fall and not an intentional trip. The camera got a piece of it, and the announcer took it from there. They so wanted, you could tell, they so wanted Mariota to prevail in his latest outing against Jameis Winston. They did anything they could to make it happen. Okay? They really did. They couldn't stand it. I remember when Jameis was drafted ahead of Marcus, everybody was up in arms, and the whole thing with, Erica Kinsman, and we now know that was a fraud thing, all right? But now, okay, anyway, it was an incredible game. I'm trying to see if I can get Arthur 101 to join me here. Incredible game. I'm trying to see if I can get Arthur 101 to join me here. Incredible game. Trying to see if I can, let me see if I can get that here. Then I would say join. Say join me, but then there. What I'm going to do is extend invitation here. Invite, StreamYard, messages, join my live stream for here. And I'm also waiting for Jameis to get to the podium at some point. And while we're waiting for that to happen, let me see here. They've got the post game here for the show. And I'm trying to find out about the Saints. Got the Saints live stream. So I'm literally waiting for them. They got the post game the post game show going. That's shame. All right. So I'm going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to keep an eye out there. And while we're doing that, let me go back and do a statistical recap of this incredible contest. That's the only way to describe it. Incredible. First of all, of course, Saints, let me see if I can put this up here so that you can follow along with what I'm talking about or about to talk about. Share screen. We recap the stats window. All right. So there's the stats. All right. Go through them with me, won't you? We have 27-26 Saints final. Jameis Winston completed 67.7% of his passes, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, a passer rating of 111. 111. Average 7.9 yards. Longest game was 40. And right now, statistically, he's better already. Statistically, Winston is already better than he was last year. His last year for the regular season, he was 95 of 161, 59%, 1,170 yards, 7.3 was his longest, 14 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. This time, no interceptions. You hear that? No interceptions. 0 interceptions. 67.7% of his passes completed. Not bad. And a rating of 111.0 versus 102.9. So let's note that. Let's note that for the discussion. Jameis Winston's passing. Jameis Winston is at 111 passer rating, already better than 2021's 102 102.8. Yeah, 102.8. So note that 102.8. Okay, 111.0. All right. Major stat. Jameis Winston is at 111 passer rating, already better than 2021's 102.8. And note, I'm going to put this in big letters because, hey, no one wants to talk about it, as Arthur would consistently say. No interceptions. Okay. No interceptions. No interceptions. And even during the time, and give it to the Falcons for putting together a heck of a defensive game, a heck of a game plan, both offensively and defensively, all right? A game plan that as much masked their weaknesses as emphasized their strengths. That's what you do, okay? But no interceptions. And he was sacked 4 times, all right? And he was sacked 4 times. And so for this game. Now, as we go back to the contest overall here, can you still see that with me? Yeah, you can, because I switched back to the contest. It says, tell them, yeah, no interceptions. You know, how many times have we heard before the start of the season, and even during preseason, people reaching back to his time with the Bucks, skipping over what he did last year like it never happened, skipping over the fact that he had a 2020 where he didn't have anything bad happen. He was on the bench. And I'm going right back to that just because it's bad. You know, magnifying the bad stuff that a black quarterback does. I mean, let's face it, okay? That's really what this is about. And this is a racism killing game. You hear me? This is a racism killing game. That's what this is about, spiritually. For me, that's what this is about, is a racism killing game. Gone are the attacks on what Winston can't do. Gone are the opportunities to trump up bad stuff about him. All that's gone. And now we're forced to focus on one thing: football. Football. Okay. Football. That's what matters here. Football. All right. No interceptions. So let's take a look. Hey, welcome to the show, everybody. Let's take a look. And again, I applaud. I have to say this because I was very critical of Dave Rangoon, the Falcons offensive coordinator last year. I said he should have been fired. I give Dave Rangoon a medal for the game plan he put together. It was virtuoso. And it really caused the Falcons to rule a game that few thought they had a chance to be in. Toss that out, all right? Toss that out. The Falcons still have a good team. That's, if anything, that's what this reveals. They have a gritty team. But they pushed the Saints. The Falcons did. The Falcons pushed the Saints to find themselves. You hear what I'm saying? The Falcons pushed the Saints to find themselves. The Falcons pushed the Saints to find themselves. I'm going to note that on Twitter as I tweet this out. The Falcons pushed the Saints to find themselves. I'm putting that on a new tweet that I'm putting out here. All right. Falcons push Saints to find themselves. And let me see if Winston has stepped up to the podium yet. Okay. Let's see what's going on here. So we have that history, excuse me, post-game show.
That's what it's about.
Here we go.
No, absolutely, man. Big time players make big time plays. Like that's not it. That's not like a statement. That's just, that's not real. That's very real. And shout out to both of those guys too. This is their first game back on the field in a while. You know what I mean? And they made it plays when we needed them the most. And that's what we're gonna need all year.
How did you go into that hurry up and open things up for you guys on that?
Yeah, we were down 16, with not a lot of time.
Like I said, it started with,
and we were just trying to put something together.
Like I said, it started with
Jawan's catch on their sideline, and then that led us to get into a 2-minute situation with like 12 minutes to go, and from there we just marched the ball down the field. Yeah, I mean, we understood the situation. Again, we understood the situation. Again, Diaz done a great job of, kind of helping us, kind of put us in those situations. But at the end of the day, we knew that it was going to be one play at a time, and we had to make plays. And I think that's what every guy did. We didn't blink, we didn't budge, and we just made plays.
With you guys kind of maybe being new together, sometimes what do you learn about the team's character when it's sticking together on the list?
Yeah, we definitely got to play better.
In the
first half. Yeah, we definitely got to play better in the first half. But, that second half was championship effort, and that's what it's going to take, even in the regular season, and we practice that way. Like I said, Diaz done a great job. These guys, work as hard as they can week in, week out, preparing. You know what I mean? Throughout the training camp, just seeing the type of men we have in the locker room, the type of leaders, the type of culture that's here. That's part of why we won that game, for sure. Absolutely. They practice crazy. Absolutely. They practice crazy. DBs tackling receivers, DBs tackling receivers, linebackers punching the ball out 30 yards down the field. It feels like a game practicing out there, but I think that's the culture that I'm talking about. That's the type of stuff that gets you better each and every day. That type of intent. It's been impressive.
This is Jarvis Landry.
It's been impressive. It's been impressive. I've always known about Mike, and then obviously to see him work his way through training camp, being from limited reps, not supposed to do one-on-ones, still jump into one-on-ones. The type of competitive spirit that he has is something that this team thrives on. And we get to the red zone tonight, and he made those two touchdowns for us when we needed them. Covered. Making contested catches, and that's who we know him to be, and he looks like he in that type of form again. So,
I'm trying to get this back here.
No. Listen, we all make plays. And Mike is a special talent. When we get down there, you know, a guy like that deserves to get the ball in his hands. You know what I mean? So, and he's doing the most with it. So that's what it's about. And that's what it's about.
Did you see the route Olave ran on the point conversion?
Absolutely. Man, I think he played a hell of a game, you know, for a rookie. I think his composure was there. I think he was getting open a lot, you know. He's going to be a guy that we're going to lean on for sure, not just on 2-point conversions, but, you know, he's going to make plays for us.
Sorry about that, folks.
The man's here, right. I see y'all.
Just in time. Here, Mr. Winston. They said the man is here.
Oh, my heart rate was smooth the whole way. You check my whoop, you know. DA told us we had to be patient, but we don't got to be that patient. Yeah, I mean, it was exciting, and we just got to find a way to get there quicker. That's what we're going to be dissecting this next week. How can we get there quicker? How can we get better? How can we start faster as a team?
Earlier this week when you were talking about Mike, I just have to put it near him and he'll grab it. Do you feel that happening?
Absolutely. Well, I told y'all too. I was like, man, this is gonna be our first time together. We got to get things going. And then, as you see, as the game started going away, like we started getting on the same page, and we start like, and it's the communication. Like it's communication on the sidelines, communication throughout the week. And I'm just so happy that we as offense, we all started to click at the right time.
What is it about kind of going in that 2-minute mode to help you kind of settle in? You felt like you guys were really on the rhythm.
Well, it was. We knew we were passing the ball, right? So we knew we were passing the ball. So just the approach to like, hey, like boom, 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 like here we go, boom, 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 here we go. So you get into that rhythm of knowing like, hey, these are where my completions at, these are where my matchups at, and you just go like that. It's not no game plan involved. Like, hey, this is the defense that we're gonna get. Let's go and play.
James, do you figure out why things were a little bit tougher to go in the first 3 quarters?
Just trying to get a feel. Like when you playing against a division opponent, obviously they did a great job self-scouting themselves out. We had some things that we thought that was gonna come that did the opposite, right? So we just got to continue to prepare, continue to get better, and man, I'm just happy with the resilience that our team possessed in a continuous fight. We never gave up, and we just kept battling.
And what is it like going through your mind whenever you find that?
I knew Illiwilly was gonna hit it. You know, the preparation he had. I mean, he had some adversity last year, overcoming some injuries and bouncing back, man. So I know he was hungry for another opportunity, and he executed.
It's been a pretty win like this do for you guys, knowing it's in Atlanta against the Falcons. It was just one game, but what does it do for you guys moving forward?
Man, every win matters. It's tough to win in this football league, and every win matters. So I'm happy that we were able to come and squeeze out one here.
Glory be to God. Yep.
I just think he's a phenomenal receiver, man. He adds to he complements Mike so well. He got our first big third down conversion. I mean, coming out of halftime, we got him that ball, man. He executed and did a lot of things. He's a dog, man. He's always ready for his opportunity, and I'm blessed to have him as a teammate.
How important is it to sort of overall confidence? Most of you guys are kind of like all new with you just to go out there and make plays with them and know next week, you know, you already did this one time before.
Yeah, I think just the whole feel as offense. It's good to see, you know, what we're capable of and learn from a win. You know, we got so much that we can learn from, especially at the beginning of the game. But those guys, they know the talent that they are. Our coaches do a great job of putting them in great situations, putting us in great situations. We just got to execute better at the beginning.
What can you learn about your team?
We're resilient. I mean, I knew that about us, but we were able to show it. We acted upon it, and we're a resilient team. We fight our butts off, and you know that shows our head coach. Our head coach instills that in us. That's the way we practice. That's the way we approach each day. So I was happy that we were able to. Personally, I was happy that our team got a chance to see what we really had inside us. We never gave up, and we won when we needed to. It means a lot to me, man. You know, this is home to me. Atlanta. I'm an hour and 30 minutes away from this place. Coming here, I know I got a lot of Winstons out there in the stands, man. Bouncing back, me and Taysom both. We said at the beginning of the game, like, hey, man, I remember the last time we was here, me and him was in the side in the locker room watching our team win, and then San Francisco ended up beating LA, and they kind of kicked us out of the playoffs. So we was like, man, we've been waiting for this opportunity to be right here in this position, and he had a heck of a day, and we were able to squeeze out a good win.
On the final drive to Jarvis, who was kind of talking about his day.
Just big time players make big time plays in big time situations.
Yep.
Just a great matchup that we like. They
Absolutely.
played a 2-man under coverage, and Jarvis got on top of the defender, and went up there and made a heck of a catch.
You gonna keep the long hair after now you're back on the field?
I mean, I ain't worried about this hair. I promise you, man. I'm focused on next week and getting better. How can we improve? How can we find the things? How can we eliminate the negatives and build on the positives? No, we like Alvin is selfless. Like we're not worried about who getting fed or anything. We worry about winning, right? Obviously, we wanted to start faster, and I know that's going to be a big topic of discussion when we meet tomorrow. So we're gonna have to bite our tongue and just go in it and learn and listen and open up to everything that the coaches have to present to us and get better.
How much confidence does it give you as a quarterback knowing that defense can go out there and get the ball back to you?
Excellent. It makes me, not try to push the ball early in the game, knowing that, like, hey, when we need to push the ball down the field, we can depend on our defense to get us a stop so we can get the ball back in our hands.
James, what were some of those things you were expecting to see from him that maybe they didn't show?
Well, we had a good beat that one of the backs was going to be their most primary pressure element, and he didn't pressure a lot, and that's the only thing.
Anything else for James?
All right, thank you.
That's it, folks.
Wait for my comment. Reminder.
Michael Thomas is next.
Coach Allen at 3:00.
Coach Allen is soon. So hold on a second. Let me get back to
that. Was quarterback Jameis Winston saying that he had, big.
So yeah, big time players make big time plays. Okay, big time players make big time plays, and there's no other way to put it than that. But you see, Jameis was relaxed. He talked about the next mission. He talked about his teammates. And last year, he didn't have Michael Thomas, Jarvis Landry, and Chris Olave in the locker room. Okay. Had Alvin Kamara and Quan Treadwell, Hardy, and, well, let's face it, not a star level of receivers. You got to love what Dennis Allen and Pete Carmichael did and Mickey Loomis did. Hats off to Mickey Loomis for making the deals that brought those receivers in. Mickey Loomis really deserves a game ball, okay? Game ball to Mickey Loomis, the general manager of the Saints. It was his wheeling and dealing that got Jarvis Landry in, that straightened out the contract issues with Michael Thomas and got him back in, that chose Chris Olave, made sure they're in a position to get him. They brought him in. That's the difference maker. Those three receivers are the difference maker. And then let's not forget the sweetener, placing Taysom Hill at tight end exclusively as a kind of a trick play. So from a game plan perspective, you're not thinking Hill's going to play quarterback anymore. Oh, no. Doesn't matter that he, did, right? You're not thinking that. You're not thinking that. What you're thinking is he's going to be a tight end. Surprise! They put him at quarterback and they let him run the ball. Don't be surprised to let him throw it once in a while as a trick play. But when the matter called for it, when the game was on the line, they put Jameis Winston in to do what Jameis Winston does, what he did in college, what he really didn't have the chance to do for the Bucs, because the kind of passing game they were playing which caused a lot of turnovers and let the opposition creep back into the game. This game was entirely different. It wasn't the game that Jameis played with the Bucs, and that's the difference, okay? Because the Bucs were in love with having him throw deep almost exclusively. If it wasn't deep, it was mid-range. They were really in love with that, okay? Okay? Because they had that approach. They didn't have the Saints approach, which I'll get to in a second. So what would happen is, as happened in 2019 against the Giants, New York Giants, they would get a big lead, rack up all these yards in the first half, then come out in the second half, not change the game plan, make the turnover mistakes, and let the opponent creep back into the game against a defense that wasn't ready for the onslaught of new plays. In the case of the Giants game, I'll never forget that. They were running wide receiver sweep after wide receiver sweep after jet sweep after jet sweep after. It seemed like they were running it endlessly. They really weren't. Maybe about 5 times. But it did a great deal of damage in the second half. And it set the Giants up for touchdowns and field goals to win the game. Under the Saints, no, they didn't have that problem because, again, no turnovers. Yeah, they got sacked. But a sack simply means you lose yardage. It doesn't mean you lose possession. That's a big thing, folks. That's a big thing. That's a huge thing. Winston learned how to hold on to the ball, save for that one time where he was getting tired of getting hit. He saw his Mark Ingram just over there, batted it to him, all right? Mark tried to pick up some extra yardage and fumbled. Okay? That was the one act of desperation, I think, that Jameis would like to have back. Of course, we would all like to have that entire play back to have him not run that play. But this was a story of the Saints battling the unexpected. The Falcons clearly, and you hear Jameis say it, threw approaches at them defensively they weren't ready for. So they had to, on a fly, adjust their game plan. Spread out, and that's what they did very brilliantly. They did something this year that last year against Carolina, when Phil Snow threw that wide tackle 6 defense at him, they didn't do. And I attribute that to the travel. Remember the post hurricane travel that they had to do because of the devastation that New Orleans suffered? Man, it's easy to forget in today's media environment what happened back then, as well as the fact that New Orleans is still digging out of it because that happened on top of the pandemic, right? So you had the Saints traveling to Green Bay. Actually, it wasn't to Green Bay, excuse me. You have the Saints traveling to Jacksonville to play a game that normally was to have been played in New Orleans. They won. And so and then they went on the travel spree. I think it was like 4 road trips in a row. But during that stretch, the Panthers got them with the defense they didn't expect, but they didn't adjust. This time, they adjusted. Not necessarily to that kind of defense, but they adjusted to the fact that the Falcons were presenting a more aggressive blitzing style that they weren't ready for. They're looking for more of the zone. They didn't get that. So to close out, Saints win over the Falcons 27-26. Jameis Winston, 23 of 34, 269 yards, 2 touchdowns, passer rating of 111, and no interceptions. Note that. No interceptions. Subscribe to Zinni62 and bookmark oaklandnewsnowblog.com. That ends this broadcast.